guys, Artosis here with a cast from the CasterMuse Narak Star League Season 4. This is between Killer, our underrated Zerg Pro, and Free, the CasterMuse Star League Season 4 champion. Free has been playing fantastically lately. Definitely a very, very strong contender to take down this tournament as well. And honestly, like when you look at the player list, like this should be... Like, Free should get very far in this tournament, I would say. He's definitely one of the stronger players in it. So, this will be an interesting game against Killer, because while I would say that Free is probably favored, the map Ultimate Stream seems to be a very Zerg map overall. It's kind of hard to figure out what you're supposed to do, and I want to see what his take is going to be on it. Because it's a map where Zerg can kind of just get 4 bases and defend them very, very, very strongly. And, you know, that's oftentimes what the problem is for Zerg, right? If you're going to beat Zerg, you need to slow down that 4th base a little bit. But when they can kind of have just a couple turtle positions like Ultimate Stream offers to get there, they can kind of get up into their Defiler tech, get a lot of Ling Lurker type of play. But there are some nice things about this map for Protoss from their perspective as well. One of which being you're up a ramp. So Hydra busts are much, much, much weaker. You're not likely to see a Hydra bust here unless that's literally the mind game is, wow, it's so bad here that maybe it's good because you skimped on everything and just didn't expect it. But I don't expect to see that here out of Killer, honestly. Now, Free gonna go for a Nexus first, no big surprise. It's kind of a long rush distance. You're not expecting a quick pool of any sort. And if your opponent wants to throw away a game like that every time you don't Nexus first, then all right, cool. Now, a hatchery first there from Killer. He does have a drone scout coming, so what he's going to scout is going to be a forge after that Nexus first, and you know he's going to know exactly what's up from there. It's all about optimizing builds at this point. Now, let's see where he takes that 3rd base. Like, I guess he could take it somewhere like this. I don't expect that, though. I would expect it to be taken right here. The drone, yeah, it seems to be going that way. And this is basically another natural from the bottom right base, since this is a 4-player map. And what you do is you defend here very heavily with this base, and then you can take this base pretty much for free, and it can only really be attacked by shuttles. So that's the one thing you're really going to be looking out for. So down goes that 3rd hatchery. Everything looking very nice for Killer right now. Just a couple lings going to be made. He's going to want to drone as heavily as possible, because when you go for a forge after Nexus first, you're very late on getting any Zealots out. So you just want to drone heavily, heavily, heavily as the Zerg player. Looking over at Free's base, you can see he goes Gateway, then Cannon. I guess he doesn't know how many lings are going to be made, and you could, as Killer, make a bunch of lings. Although I do feel like with super modern PvZ right now, we're seeing cannons push back as far as possible. And maybe if we had, like, for instance, Mini in this game, would he have made this cannon right now? I feel like he might have risked skipping it. But I guess we'll see as PvZ develops, and of course Zergs come up with some counterplays to that greedy style. But Free, completely safe. He has a cannon at home. He's going to make a Zealot, and certainly this will be going across the map the second it's out. Cybernetic core on the way, another pylon up in the main base. Everything looking pretty standard, pretty normal. As well as for Killer. He's going for his lair. Of course, as we mentioned, he has this hatchery down here. He's going to want to be producing drones for now. And we'll just see, like, are you going to go right up into Spire? Most likely. You're going to want to get some Scourge out to kind of defend against incoming Corsairs from Free. Now, Stargate is on the way. Another pylon here where you can start putting gateways when it's time. Already has 26 drones, 28 probes rather, against 21 drones. So you can see that Nexus first really kind of paying off here for Free, getting those extra workers out. A few more lings join the fray. I don't think he'll make more than this, though, right? Like, send 4 out, keep 4 home. 4 Zerglings deals with a Zealot very well. So, just kind of a decent amount. Also, with speed on the way and almost finished, he should be able to kill off this probe as it comes up the ramp. Just other than that, pure drones being made. Yep, gets it as it comes up the ramp there. Spire on the way. And of course, you could end up going Mutas here. I don't feel like I've seen Killer go Mutas in this matchup all that much. I think he's more of a let's make 4 Scourge type of guy and then go into, you know, just massive Hydralisk macro. But I don't know how Hydralisk heavy it will be. Definitely don't forget Lurker is going to be extremely powerful here since you're always attacking up ramps. Now, +1 air attacks on the way for free. Throwing down the Templar Archives. Has 1 pylon behind the minerals. Certainly he'll send a probe behind and make a second a little bit later on to be able to stack up in a control group with those Corsairs. No +1 attack as of yet. That's kind of an interesting thing. I guess that means he's going to be going into Dark Templars rather than quick speed as well as the +1 for those Zealots. And it's been a bit more trendy to get the quick +1 in speed. But yeah, DT, with the bases this far apart, it actually kind of makes sense when you think about it, right? Oh my god. That is a very quick hatchery for the 4th base. Now, he might just utilize it for macro. I don't think he'll put, like, drones back here to start or anything. But yeah, that's just, it's kind of quick. If you happen to slip a DT back there, there's no way that you're going to be able to defend it, I would say, unless you have enough Scourge to really clear out the Corsairs immediately. All right, so 4 Scourge here. 2 Scourge here. Yeah, just spreading them out a little bit. He really wants to catch anything he can. Has the Overlords here right now. Has to be careful, though, right? Because if these get cleared and a DT wanders in, that is going to be huge amounts of damage coming out of free. The Corsair is just kind of roaming the map right now. As a group of 3 here, this really is kind of the important thing. Oh, walks by an Overlord there. But you know what? He spots the Overlord. Maybe he can kill that off? Actually skips it for now. All right, the Corsair is coming back towards this new 4th base. Couple Scourge here. Oh, he gets those Scourge. 1 connects. Oh, but look how many Scourge are swarming in right now. Beautifully done by Killer. Ready to jump on that. He knows exactly what's up. The DT takes a few hits there from that Sunken, but does get pushed back. And that was the crucial moment for this early portion of the game. If you're able to pick off those Scourge and push back the Overlords, the DT does massive damage to a base that's so far away because it takes forever for more Overlords to go down there. But now that part is done, we have Hydralisk speed on the way. A lot of Hydras being produced. Zealots coming out on the map. They do have that +1 on the way and legs, but it's not done quite yet. Just kind of showing some pressure onto the map, I would say. Let's take a look at the gateway count. Looks like we have a total of 4 gates right now for free. Still producing those Corsairs. Still has +1 and those legs on the way. Of course, not done quite yet with the build he chose. DT still not finding any damage. Might try something cheeky like run in with the Zealots and then push a DT by. But this SimCity looks very, very strong. Really hard to run anything through here. So it looks like he'll back up for now. Ooh, the Corsair's getting some great catches there. Yeah, he has 6 now with that +1. So that's an easy 2-shot onto Scourge. And now it is time. He is going to try to push through here. The Lings, the Hydras, the Sunkens doing a great job. But the Corsairs getting on top of the Overlords. Basically, right now, we see him trying to target down these Corsairs so he doesn't get mega supply block. The drones coming in a drill to stop those Zealots from killing off all of the Hydras. But it looks like just about everything is going to go down. No detection left over. And now the DT comes up. Beautifully executed here. Killer tried his best to keep him back. Wait, there's no detection, though, and the DT turned around. There is an Overlord morphing, but I feel like there was a bit of missed damage there. He sacrificed a few of his Corsairs. He did end up doing some decent damage, but definitely we could have seen the DT get through here in that time. You know, I guess it's a little bit of a miss there for free. I still think it was pretty decent overall, right? The drone pull occurred. He got drones. He killed off a bunch of units. He got a lot of Overlords and actually kept a reasonable amount of Corsairs alive. I believe he lost 2 total to kill off like 4 Overlords and get all that additional damage done. Well, Free gonna roam with his Zealots, sending them down towards that bottom right. Not nearly as many units here. A decent SimCity, though. Sees this coming. Scouting into the main base here of the bottom right with those Corsairs, seeing quite a few drones. This is getting a little bit scary for Free, I gotta say. He is taking his own 3rd base, which is nice. And he took it pretty quickly. He's double forge going, Robo on the way. Hasn't even added that many gates here. He's up to 7 gates. I love it. I like to see stuff like that double forge play. High Templars being produced. He's going to really get up there on the upgrades. You can see Free not afraid of going into a big macro game here against a Zerg player. But maybe he should be. We'll see about that. Definitely a map that Zerg can really macro freely on. Now Free, yeah, pushed back by the Lurker Hydra for now. He does, again, have the Robo on the way, but it's not ready quite yet, so he has to avoid Lurkers for the time being. This is a reasonable defensive place, though, right? Like, okay, he comes up the hill. Nah. Like, maybe you can get a storm down when they're clumped up a little bit, but you can't really push too far as Killer here, right? You've got a very nice high ground position, but overall, between Storms, Goons, and Zealots, this army will crush this army. You're just kind of counting on him not having detection right now. So a slight containment, just keeping Free back for now. Let's take a look what else is going on here. A lot of drones being produced. Some more static D. Double evolution chamber. No hive yet. Do we even have a queen's nest? It looks like the idea here. Yeah, look at the amount of static D he's putting up. Oh, static D for days. So many Sunkens are being created. And, you know, he sees all the Dragoons, he sees all the Zealots, and the thing is, like, I mean, these are good units. You need them in some amounts, even in the late game. But Killer is making it so that he can't die. That's what he's doing right now. He's droned up super heavily to higher drone counts than the probe count out there. And now he's just kind of saying, okay, you know what? Let's make it so that I'm invincible for now and make Free go into the supreme late game rather than the late game. Right? And that's where we're going to see a lot of Defiler play. So I think the next thing we should be seeing is the Queen's Nest. He's made all the static D. He's made a lot of Lurkers. He's got the double Evos going. And notice he's focusing now more on melee attack rather than range. Because as you get later into the game, that melee attack on the Zerglings, so important. Oh, kind of an interesting location for him to be standing. Oh, he picks off the Observer. so annoying. A storm goes down, though. I'm sure another Observer will be on the way, and he will be able to clear this out. But the Lurker right now, making it painful. Some good storms. Yeah, just utilizes the storm, says, screw it. I don't want to wait for an Observer to kill this off. And finally, now the Queen's Nest. Also, a group of mutas being made. These are certainly going to be, like, good for harassment, but I think more so for trying to pick off some High Templars in the center of the map. And yeah, the only thing I have to say about Killer's play, I feel like the Queen's Nest is slightly late. Like, he could have gotten that a little bit quicker, because if you look at this, you can't attack into this. There's so many Sunkens on high ground against low ground, you're not going to be able to do anything. So he brings these mutas over now, and I think this is a cool ad as well. It's a lot of gas, but he's getting some decent damage. Going to pick off some of these High Templars. Decent storms go down onto them and do soften them up a bit, but he's hurting that economy. Has a couple Scourge in here as well in case anything shows up out of that Stargate. A lot of Dragoons coming back to push those out. And Free does have a 4th base. I love that he's still macroing up and just saying, you know, all right, well, if I can't kill you, I got to take more bases. Very well played in that regard. Has 3-2 upgrades on the way, as well as shuttle speed, a very important upgrade for that supreme late game against Zerg. Muta's going to come in and, well, I mean, they could have killed those goons, but as a High Templar comes up, much smarter for them to run away. Still very great defense. A lot of hatches going up here for Killer. Might think about taking another base now. Yeah, gonna take his 5th base even as he starts to get enough units where he can actually come out onto the map. You can see that Free is almost maxed, and he's up about 30 supply overall on Killer. But that's gonna change pretty quickly here. Killer has basically as solid an economy as Free, which you don't really want to see. Oh! Greater Spire, I love this, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the Defiler Mound now coming up, he's going to be able to start really flooding units, and you can see like the amount of hatcheries that he has. This is going to be, it's going to be hard to stop. Free though, getting out onto the map, and the thing I want to say about Greater Spire, it's such a good usage of mutas. I feel like mutas are underutilized, or Guardians are underutilized They kind of wreck everything in a good, strong defensive location. They aren't very good at attacking into Protoss a lot of the time, but like you can pick off things like Archons. They add a ton of DPS overall. I mean, each shot does 20. I think it's definitely a very cool thing to do with your mutas if you're not utilizing them elsewhere, or if your opponent gets a lot of things like Archons, right? Like if they have a bunch of Archons, for instance, Archons just can't do anything against them. In fact, it looks like he's going to morph him here and maybe try to take down this Nexus. Free trying to get that 5th base up. He's sending his army down. Now, don't forget, Psystorm going to do well against Guardians. If they're attacking from up here, they're going to be mega clumped. Okay, pulls them out of that area for now. The Overlord seeing the army reacting to his mutas being over here. Retaking this 5th base. We have Consume on the way on this Defiler Mound. Look at the amounts of Lings and Hydras being added in. We must already have the Adrenal upgrade. +2 on the way for the Zerglings, as well as +3 Carapace. Looking pretty good. But Free is starting to get a decent bank, right? He's been maxed out for a bit. Not losing too many units as he roams around because Killer is just not willing to fight yet. And honestly, I think that's the right play. Like, there's no reason for him to come out and start battling until his Defilers are ready. When you start plaguing and using your Dark Swarms, that's where you're really going to punish the Protoss player. Now look at this. He's taking down a bunch of his Sunkens because he does not need that Static D anymore, but he does need a clean rally path out. With this many hatches, very, very important. All right, Free running through the center of the map right there. We are going to see some gigantic battles coming forward. Here is that first Defiler. So he's starting to get a bit more aggressive on the map. Free backing up right now. Just turning around, picking off what units that he can. I love that he has his space up, but look at this. Just 2 Morphing Guardians. And if he splits this, how many storms do you have to use? You have to use like 4 storms to kill the Guardians, which is so annoying. Also notice, oh my god, Reaver damage. Oh wait, no, that's plague. I'm so dumb. Yeah, never mind. I was getting excited because the graphic for Reaver damage actually looks very similar to that. But he is making Reavers, so we may see that upgrade added in for Free as we see a Robo defensively over here. Okay, a big attack from Free into the 5th base location. This is very choked up, so Psystorm going to be strong, but so are the Lurkers. Look at this, the defensive Guardians. These from the high ground can massacre a lot of this. I love the idea right now from Killer. Let's see if it works out for him. The Dragoon's getting in here, a Psystorm, going down another Psystorm upon these Lurkers. And honestly, he doesn't have defense, so he just has to back out. And the Guardians, are they going to get their time to shine? Not so sure about that anymore. In the meantime, it looks like these ones did get cleaned up. The Guardian's now done, going to start pelting everything, but he's already got the Lurkers here. This stuff was already going to die. Of course, the Guardian's adding a huge amount of damage there as well. And it just seems like every tool is available now for Killer. He's taking his time. He's turtled up. He's gotten what he needs. Oh my god, and we actually have a big drop going down. Sorry, I missed that. Looks like he's sent some units back. It's gotten a bunch of cannons, some pylons. The thing is, he has to watch out for this for the rest of the game now, these massive drops where you can drop very low-cost units and get a lot of damage done with them. So Free is being spread pretty thin here. And I'm unsure where he wants to go from this position, right? Because we see like a lot of tier 1, tier 1.5 units. Oh, he's trying to utilize an Archon attack upon an Archon to kill this. Like, you can hit them with Splash while they're underground. You kind of need it in the back portion. The Archon should have stood there rather than there, I believe, to get that damage done. But, yeah, very, very tough to deal with. Needs some of those observers out ASAP. Now, Killer has taken over map control. Look at this giant army moving through the center right now. He's taken that additional base, and now it's time for him to go on the attack. A Dark Storm can really help to clear out a base like this that's so cannon-centric. Here we go, the Defiler coming out. The Lings running forward. A couple Lurkers as well as some Hydras in there. Might not even see the Dark Storm. Doesn't even really need it. No units from Free here ready to defend. Brings up a High Templar, though. We'll get a decent Storm off of that, I guess. The rest of the army coming down here And you can see a little bit of a flank here from Free. He still has a lot of units. He still has a lot of money. But the army is going to become difficult to deal with. And he just GG's. Killer takes out Free.